So we have talked a lot about decisions, where you went, what those factors have, how certain factors have influenced your decisions and your success. People want to also know, like you said, people reach out to you, reach out to me for tips and strategies, and they have questions. If you had, knowing what you know now, and you going through this process as a candidate, and then also going through this process as a student again, but now as a U.S. trained dentist, knowing what you know now, give us like 3 or 4 tips that you would want to share with your international colleagues that are going through this process right now. Right now, many are waiting to get an interview, many are waiting to get an acceptance, and many are just starting the process right now. What are some tips? What are 4 tips you want to share with them?
The foremost one, which I'm hearing a lot from a lot of these candidates who are starting their process, is TOEFL. So a lot of these dentists have really good clinical skills. They've done a lot of volunteer work, everything, but they never took the importance of this English exam very seriously. So what happened? They give their INBD, they give their other exams, and they are preparing to start with CAAPID, and then they give TOEFL, and then they don't get good score. And INBD is pass and fail. All the exams are pass and fail, but TOEFL has a number, and the higher you score, the better your application will look like. It's like a cherry on top of a cake. So my recommendation to these candidates who are applying right now, giving INBD, is know that TOEFL is a stressful exam, and somebody's loss is your win. Why I'm saying this is because a lot of candidates find it difficult to get 105, 100. And if you can go and smash that exam and get 115,
Yep.
your application is going up right away.
Yep.
The other problem is people who know how to speak and write English, they think we are so good, we don't need to prepare. But TOEFL is not actually an English exam. It's actually more of a strategic exam where you plan your timing, you plan your templates in your brain. Like if you know English, there's a high chance you will get bad score because you're overconfident. It's not an English exam. It's more of an exam of strategy. So that would be my number one recommendation. Score higher in TOEFL, and that's the one punch that can shatter the whole glass. So score higher in that. That will help you a lot. Second thing I would say that could help. Now I've seen, so I did masters in health administration before applying, but when I was in the school, I had about 5, 6 people who have done masters from US. But now schools are getting more and more competitive, and now like 50% of them have done masters. It's not that you
Mm.
absolutely have to do it, but I'm telling you, it's becoming more and more of a norm. How can
It's a
you outbeat it?
commonplace, right?
Yep. You can take ADAT exam, you can take some courses at community college, you can do something to compensate. But what I'm trying to say is, fortunately, unfortunately, it's just becoming more and more competitive. So push yourself more. You will get in, but you just have to perform more now.
Yeah. Yeah. So TOEFL, got to do it. Well,
Score higher.
definitely have to do it, but it's
Score
not
higher.
the fact that you have to do it. You got to score high, and
Because
high
people
is
don't
a
spend enough
hundred and
time.
higher. Yeah, 100 is the bottom floor.
Usually I've known people who got in with, here's the other thing, they, when it comes to TOEFL, there are some countries like India, Pakistan was a British colony, and that's one of the reason I got a British high school degree and I can speak English in a certain way. But there are some countries which were never colonized by the British, so they are not English speaking countries, like a lot of South American. Like I had friends from Venezuela, from Cuba. They don't speak English. They did their dentistry in Spanish, and now they were learning everything in English.
Right.
Middle Eastern community, they don't. Most of them don't have. They were never colonized, so for them, uh, TOEFL is difficult. Say what I saw, that they don't compare these ethnic groups or these people for coming from these countries from somebody who's coming from India or Pakistan, because obviously their standard of English would be different. But still, if you're a Venezuelan, you're a Cuban, and if you score like 100 and rest of the folks are on 93, your application is going up. Your chances are getting higher.
Yeah, that TOEFL is important, everyone. And keep in mind, don't try to wing it. Just go ahead and invest. Remember, I got to make the difference. So that's why the I is an investment. Go ahead and make the difference and prepare. There's many courses and programs out there that can help you achieve that important part of your application, because that score will dictate the number of interviews and invitations you get for interviews, as well as some other things. And then the second thing you mentioned was how most applicants now, or many applicants, more than 50%. And again, that's just a guesstimate. That's just based off of, people that you have talked to over the years. More than 50% of them have some level of master's degree, right? Advanced.
Yeah, I wouldn't say
learning.
50, but it's like the water
It's
is
increasing.
higher.
Yeah.
Like, and here's another trend that's going on right now. Canada is offering a lot of immigration, so I know a lot of Indian community are migrating to Canada,
Right.
and schools are preferring Indian Canadians or Pakistani Canadians because they know these people are already in Canada, they have been assimilated, or they have certain level of proficiency in English or work there. It's much more easier to give them admission as compared to calling somebody or inviting somebody from Pakistan who wouldn't even get a visa at this point. So I'm not saying you can't get in. If you're in India, you can totally get in. But if you're in Canada, it will increase your chances if you prepare in the correct manner.